Okay, Senator Carper, then followed by Senator Grassley.
Yeah. Thanks so much. I think it was 14 months ago that you sat at this table, and behind you was not your leadership team from the IRS, but your wife, your kids, your parents, and I thanked them at the time for sharing you with all of us, and just convey to them I still feel that way, and I'm encouraged by the leadership that you're providing. I want to say to my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, but some of us previously served as governor. In Delaware, we don't have an IRS. We have a Delaware Division of Revenue. We used to provide lousy service, and we didn't do a very good job collecting taxes that were owed. And we went to work on that. We didn't fix it in a year. We didn't even fix it in one term, but we fixed it in 8 years. And after I stepped down, the year that I stepped down as governor of the state of Delaware, Delaware Division of Revenue earned and received the Quality Award for Service among all the businesses, nonprofits in the state of Delaware. The Quality Award is like, are you kidding? No, we're not. We learned to provide great service. We learned to do a better job of collecting the revenues that were owed, and we balanced our budgets 8 years in a row, in large part because we had done that. And so it can be done. It can't be done overnight. It can't be done without support, and it can't be done without leadership. Thank you for providing that leadership. I want to talk a little bit about direct file, if we can. Direct file program, we talked about it already, but it's been a major step toward improving the taxpayer experience. And this year, taxpayers in, I think, 12 states could directly file with the IRS through direct file. And we look forward to working with you and your team to build on the success of this year's pilot, to bring direct file to taxpayers in all 50 states, including the first state of Delaware. Question. Commissioner Werfel, does the IRS plan on continuing the direct file program for next tax filing season? And do you plan on expanding the scope of the program for the next filing season, and if so, how?
Senator, as we sit here today, direct file pilot is still ongoing because Massachusetts is one of our pilot states. And because of Patriots Day, they have until April 17th to file. So the pilot isn't done yet. Here's the plan. Once the pilot is complete, we will gather the data, and we've already started gathering the data, and we will report out publicly the information, including cost. And Senator Crapo mentioned in his remarks cost estimate that may exceed $100 million. I'm not seeing that in some of the early data that's coming in, not even close to that. So I'm looking forward to having a public discussion around what we saw, what the demand was, what the performance of the product was, and what the cost was once the pilot wraps up, and we're a couple of days away from that. Once we can get that information out into the public space, I would expect we're going to hear from some stakeholders, and we're going to hear from taxpayers, and we're going to hear from states, and we're going to hear from members of this committee and members from House Ways and Means, and then we'll make a decision. I'll consult with Secretary Yellen, and we'll make a decision about the future of direct file. The results have been encouraging. There was significant demand for the product. When we released it on March 8th to the broader public, we anticipated at that time, based on traffic, that we would see about 100,000 users by April 15th. We blasted through 100,000 on April 13th or 14th, and we're still getting more returns in. So demand exceeded what we thought the day we launched the product widely. And then in terms of cost, we're still gathering information, but I don't see anything in the data, early data, that points to over-exorbitant costs. But again, we want to have that public discussion, and then we want to make a decision as transparently as we can.
Good. Thank you for that. I'm going to stick with this direct file for just another moment, if I could. How can Congress, how can we on this side of the dais support the direct file program and ensure that more states, including my state, can participate next year?
Yeah, I think it's about making sure there's balanced information out there about what the ambition of direct file is. It's intended to be an option, not intended to be mandatory. It's still taxpayers preparing their own taxes. It's not the IRS preparing the taxes for you. It's that people can opt out of it anytime they want and switch products. And we want to hear from taxpayers in Delaware and other states more broadly, what do they want from the IRS to make the tax filing process as seamlessly and easy as possible? How can we reduce their stress? A lot of taxpayers are telling us a free solution to work direct with the IRS online is one option we'd like to have. We might not use it, but we want it on the menu. We want to hear from your citizens in Delaware what they think so that we can be ever more informed in how we serve taxpayers most effectively.
Good, thanks. Mr. Chairman, when you and I were House members a million years ago, and Senator Grassley was a House member as well, we used to hold a lot of town hall meetings in our respective states. And I remember every year, right around tax filing season, I would host up and down the state. We only have 3 counties, but in every county, we would bring in the Division of Revenue, we'd bring in the IRS. We would help people file their taxes, prepare their taxes. And we would actually have do an exercise where people in the audience could help us balance the budget. And it was very interesting, and we'd have like 50 or 100 people there. One year, we're having a hard time, I think my group was having a hard time, as citizens were having a hard time balancing the budget, and they were to work with on defense spending, non-defense spending, we worked on entitlements, and still couldn't balance the budget in the exercise. A lady in the back of the room raised her hand, and I said, yes, ma'am, and she said, we're having a hard time, do you have any thoughts? And I said, well, you haven't thought at all about revenues in trying to get us to this. Revenues are part of the solution. And it's not just raising tax rates and so forth, it's making sure that people who have an income, that they're paying their fair share. The lady in the back of the room, she said, I don't mind paying even more taxes. I just want to make sure that everybody else is paying their fair share. And that's what we're trying to do here. Thank you for helping us with that.
We're gonna move on, but don't think